Welcome back, everybody. So before we get into the video about safe today, I did want to give a plug to that advent calendar that we're giving away over on my IG, and we'll go ahead and roll that right before the video. So it's the holiday season, and what better time for giving than now? I absolutely love Christmas time, love giving out gifts and whatnot. So, and what better way to show appreciation to everybody that's been, subscribed to me on YouTube, watched videos, liked, shared, all that good stuff, than to do a giveaway. So we're going to try and give away this advent calendar during Christmas. All the rules are going to be on my Instagram, and that's where we're going to do it through. Instagram is 608fishing1. And hopefully everything goes well and we can, do more stuff and potentially bigger stuff in the future. But all the rules will be over there. By no means is this like supported or endorsed by YouTube or Instagram or anything else like that. But yeah, just want to show a little bit of appreciation. Hopefully somebody can get this around Christmas time and catch some fish with it. But again, appreciate everybody that has, supported the channel for, thus far. And again, over on my Instagram, I don't have very many followers on that. So if you do enter, you probably got a pretty decent chance of winning. But now, back to the video. So the first video that I always want to make every ice fishing season is a safety video. Ice fishing can be very safe as long as you take the needed precautions. If you're new to ice fishing, I would 100% recommend doing some research before heading out to the ice to prevent any sort of issues as far as that goes. The way that I look at safety is twofold. So I look at it first off as the things that can prevent you from going through the ice, and then if you're ever in that situation and break through, the things that can help get you out of that ice. So initially, the first thing I would always recommend is a spud bar. I would use a spud bar anytime you're going out on new ice. In all honesty, you should probably use it all the time because ice does change depending on if water's got flow or a spring or something like that. But using a spud bar is a wonderful opportunity to go ahead and check kind of like how safe ice is. Anytime I've spudded out, you want to go ahead and hit the ice relatively hard. You don't want to just kind of tap it. That's not going to do you any good. You're looking for a judgment as to how safe the ice is. And for me, typically 2 to 3 hits has been pretty safe. 2 hits is generally fine. If I go through on the second one, it's a little sketchy and I might not go out for that day, but always use common sense and judgment as far as that goes. And as you're going out on the ice, like I said, ice can be vary quite a bit from spot to spot depending on if you have springs or flow or deepening water or anything else like that. So consistently checking as you're going out onto the ice is very, very important. Next thing, to go ahead and prevent yourself from kind of going through that ice, if you have glare ice especially, I would always recommend some sort of cleats. They will give you a little bit of traction out on the ice, so that'll prevent any slips or falls, mechanical injuries that happen from that. And obviously if you're falling on the ice, there's probably a little bit higher chance of you going through if that ice is weak. So prevent any sort of injuries. Cleats or creepers, whatever you want to call them, definitely a really, really good idea. Next, if you end up going in, hopefully it never happens to anybody, but it can, so it's always best to be prepared. The first thing I would always recommend is a pair of spikes. There's plenty of brands that make them. Essentially, it's to go ahead and give you a little bit of traction, a little bit of grip when you're trying to get out of the ice. You can go ahead and jam it into the ice and try and pull yourself up. It's a lot easier than trying to grab onto slick ice and just pull yourself out. Next up, it's come a long way in the recent years, is just floating ice suits. The ones that I have, I always use are Striker. They're insanely comfortable. Very lightweight. I love them to death, and I've done a video in the past of showing how they actually do float you. So it won't necessarily get you out, but it'll make it much easier to get out if you do end up falling in. So between an ice suit and spikes, it makes it wildly easier. Ice suits can be kind of pricey, but if you do have the ability to go ahead and get them, I would most certainly recommend them. Beyond that, there are other things that you can go ahead and do. Always letting somebody know where you're going, a plan as far as that goes, is wonderful in case something does happen, you're not able to call. Ropes are always really nice if you end up going out with friends. Those, and somebody goes through, a rope is wildly helpful as far as that goes. You can have like noisemakers and stuff like whistles or something like that to, you know, try and call people. But the three biggest things I would always recommend are a spud bar, cleats, and then spikes. And then all the rest of the stuff is all extra, can most certainly help you, but those are the big things that I would most certainly get. As far as a spud bar, again, you want to go ahead and hit the ice hard, and because you're trying to check how deep that ice actually is. And this ice right here looks plenty thick. If I'm hitting one time through, I'm not going out. 2 times it's getting still a little sketchy, but usually 3 is kind of where you can start feeling a little bit more comfortable. But again, use reason. If you're hitting it lightly and it's 3 times, that's not nearly the same. Get to know how deep, when you hit with a spud bar, how deep that's actually going. Usually I'm not, with 2 to 3 hits, I'm not going through 3 to 4 inches of ice, which usually is pretty sufficient to walk on. So again, always use common sense, always use good judgment. The other thing that you can do prior to going out that's going to help you out a lot and help you waste less trips, I guess, is to do some sort of intel beforehand. There's plenty of ice reports that you can find on your lake, nearby lakes and stuff like that, that'll go ahead and let you know if people have been out already, how thick the ice is, you know, and all sorts of stuff like that. So you won't end up getting out to the lake and just finding out you can't even get out there at all. So that will help a lot. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful and safe ice season. Hopefully you catch a bunch of big ones. Hopefully everybody stays topside, and it shouldn't be too terribly long for me to go ahead and make new videos for 2024. But as always, if you like the videos, if you wouldn't mind liking, if you want to see more videos like it, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd be greatly appreciated also. Till the next one.